So I post content everywhere, right? Like I do it a lot, at massive scale all the time. I not only recognize the opportunities that come about of just being active and posting things. It's a sort of age-old problem that you're thinking of getting a job. Well, how do you get a job? Well, you just go volunteer and do things, and you end up getting more jobs by doing those particular things. And I know that seems really strange, but just being out in the open actually helps out. um, it really is an important part of life, right? I think about my kids in terms of them getting opportunities, and they've gotten opportunities because of, you know, that they're out and about, that their mom is well connected with being out and about, just all these kind of things. Um, just keeping busy matters. But the other thing that I think is super important is I um, I have a tendency to ruminate. I have a tendency to go negative. I have a tendency to think about all of the problems that exist in my life. And yeah, those are very real problems, right? I'm not discounting any of those problems that we experience and that we have. They're very real. But what I find is that if I turn it around and I flip it around and I just speak openly and I speak a lot about, not only these problems, sometimes I'm very frustrated and I'm very open about them, but I also speak about, those times where it's really great and things are seemingly doing okay. Um, because you know, I think it's important to sort of maintain the way that I maintain the sort of positive aspects of my life is to delude myself to kind of be a little bit ridiculous and going over the top of letting me know that I'm doing okay. Um, and as well, in terms of controlling this rumination and how negative, I tend to feel, I need something else. I don't do well within being that I have to do one particular thing. I just don't do well with that. That doesn't keep me going. And you end up feeling very trapped. I end up feeling like it just doesn't feel me. It doesn't feel human. It doesn't feel like this is what I was intended to do, no matter what particular thing that thing is, right? Like it could be writing nonstop. That is supposed to be my job, but I can't do that all the time. I don't feel good inside if I do that. It could be things like not only, writing nonstop, but it could be, doing exercise nonstop, right? Whatever physical exercise I might be into, and I do that for a few days straight, I start feeling pretty ragged. I don't feel good. So for me, um, it's a lot of this is just maintaining my positive attitude in life and, dealing with the ups and downs and sort of voicing it so that other people can hear, hey, you know what, other people are going through the same thing, right? We all kind of go through the same thing no matter what we're actually doing. My life's a little different than most people's. Maybe your life is not like this, but my work is writing, and reading a lot. I mean, like I'm a data processor, um, and that's all I do, right? I data process. I intake qualitative, quantitative information, and I process this information and poop it out. Um, so, that is my particular job. Your job is probably quite a bit different than that. Um, where you're doing all sorts of other things. Maybe you're a truck driver. Um, but, essentially, I think it's the same basic principle. We need to keep busy in various different aspects. I think about like And I know that this is not necessarily a good image, but I think about the manual labor of. So I watched this movie, if you haven't seen it, about Harriet Tubman. I think it was called Tubman, um, and it was just fantastic of a movie. She was badass as all get out. Um, just absolutely badass lady. But I think about the manual labor that people used to have to do many years ago, and that how singing would keep people's mind off of it. It makes you feel good inside. Having that distraction is an important thing. And I think any kind of thing like this, even if I was hiking, right, and I was hiking alone, I'd probably want to talk to myself. So I think anything that keeps your mind off of the day to day, I think it's super helpful. And I think it's an important thing for me to practice. And if I can keep that going, by keeping my mind active, and by helping other people, whether it is making them feel like they're normal, or maybe you'll stumble into something and listen to something and be like, oh, all right, I get it. That's wonderful, right? Like, I think that that is a wonderful opportunity that we have that many of us couldn't possibly have even 10 years ago. So why not take advantage of these opportunities, right? Like, these are really cool, amazing things. We should be taking advantage of them as much as we possibly can. That's the way I think. And um, I am probably going to keep doing this for a while. Maybe I'll cut back. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it going. But I know that there's lots of people that listen to this, and they feel okay when they listen to it. And that's my goal. So thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful day.